But here's where things get really fascinating and interesting. You know, I usually have a pretty good assumption or instincts about what used to be. And again, without seeing those photos, I don't think I would have believed it. That's why I'm making this video, to preserve what's here before it's gone. All right, a little bit nervous, but we're gonna give it a go. Oh shit, oh shit. That's definitely one of the dumber things I've done as an adult, and my biggest fear came true. All joking aside though, yeah, I am hurt, I am sore, it's painful. Believe it or not, water didn't always pass through this tunnel. And honestly, if it wasn't for photographic evidence, I probably wouldn't believe it myself. But sadly, this won't be here for much longer. If you'd like to learn the history about this interesting location, all you need to do is come along with me. Now, if you have been watching my recent videos, this location may look familiar because we found this accidentally while doing the Back Mountain Rail Trail, which goes up next to it, over the bridge, and continues on the other side. And I said, I think I want to return here. Little did I know how much history this particular structure does hold. Beyond that, there's something behind you guys, which is going to require me to get a little bit wet. But that was the initial reason I wanted to return. This ended up being a bonus. So let me share with you what I do know about this, because again, if it wasn't seen in photos and talked about, I don't think I would have believed it myself. So above us here is the Harris Hill Road Bridge in Kingston Township. I think it's actually Trucksville. And back on November 3rd, 2023, it was taken out of commission. It was decommissioned. Basically due to structural integrity being compromised, it was deterioration of the structure. They projected it was going to be replaced in 2024. Well, we're here August 2025. It's still closed, nothing's been done. But it has been announced just a few weeks ago they're taking bids this coming winter for the construction to begin of this bridge tunnel in 2026. So its future is short-lived from beyond making this video. But here's where things get really fascinating and interesting. As you can see today, Toby Creek is flowing through it. And if I didn't know any better, I would have assumed it was just for this. But no. At one time, water didn't flow through here, but trolley cars did. There used to be a set of rails that came through here for interurban streetcars or trolley cars. Oh, you may be wondering, where did the water go? Well, adjacent to this tunnel over here was another tunnel. The water used to flow through there. The trolleys came through here. Well, up on top of there is Route 309. When they decided they wanted to expand that road to make it 4 lanes, well, they had to eat into the land, which means they took away the tunnel for the water and rerouted the water through here. Now, there's a few things I don't have details on, such as when this was built. Maybe we'll find out, maybe we won't. I don't know when the streetcar service started or ended. I don't know when that rerouting took place. But those pictures I shared with you were shared with me by a viewer on my JPVideos Facebook page. They knew someone who had information on this area, and with their permission, they allowed me to share the photos. And again, without seeing those photos, I don't think I would have believed it. I even asked, because you're gonna see, beyond here is a rock slide of bedrock. I'm like, was there a bridge here at one time? They're like, no, the land was different back in the time. So where you guys are situated is actually a rock cut area, and the land would have continued. When the water got rerouted through here, whether it happened naturally of eroding it away or they dug it out, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But streetcars did come through here on a pretty level grade here, and that bridge, the other tunnel for the water, was taken out, rerouted here, and serving its purpose today. But again, this won't be lasting more than a few more months. But let me show you behind it, inside of it, past it, and a little bit later on in the video, I'll give you some views topside as well. So here's looking upstream of Toby Creek. We are literally standing in the middle of it right now. And we're now at the other end of the tunnel or bridge. There's a pipe protruding out there, probably for drainage from the roadway. Also noticing on top, there's some piping going across. Could be carrying cables or utilities. So I'm sure it's gonna have to be dealt with too. But here is the tunnel slash bridge. Now I did call it a tunnel upon my initial discovery because it does resemble a tunnel. But it's formed because of the bridge of Harris Hill Road traveling across it. And it's been closed for over 2 years, almost 2 years now, coming November. Now looking up there, I don't see any date stamps, nothing signifying a build date. Maybe it's on top. Or if those watching happen to have additional details about this structure, or when trolleys started or stopped service through here, would love to hear it as well. But it's kind of a little rock cut area where this is built into. See some fencing there holding back some retention stones for drainage. And it is primarily made out of stone over here, right down to the bedrock floor. And the other end, as you can see, there's a difference in materials. That is concrete over there. So I believe it was expanded maybe when the road got finished up above 309, but that looks like an expansion right there of concrete. So old meets new inside. So let's go a little bit further into it, check out some of the details. Now I will say, I'm not an engineer. I don't know really all that much of what I'm looking at. It doesn't look all that bad, but there's a reason they took this out of commission, out of service. And probably has something to do with some of the little pockets that we're looking at, since this is made out of stone. And it's a, I'm guessing, a pretty old bridge compared to standard bridges around here. So I'm sure they have their reasons, but it looks like it is still holding up for the most part pretty well. You are still able to cross it as a pedestrian or on bike, because again, part of the Back Mountain Rail Trail does go over this. I did ride my bike across it. But as we come over here, sliding. Rocks are a little slippery. Just some of the stones here though. See some pockets cut out. Some of these blocks of stone are really large. Some are smaller than others. It's a beautiful curve going right around. There's also an abundance of worms and night crawlers around here. Since I arrived, I've seen them crawling all over the place. Some good sized night crawlers here for fishing. So here's where old meets new. So I'm thinking this is probably where the original bridge slash tunnel started or ended. And then they just connected right next to it with more modern day concrete. There's a lip here. Same on the other side as well. And although it's not made out of stone, it matches up pretty well. I mean, they kind of merge perfectly here. And then, as I was mentioning, you guys were sitting inside a rock cut on both sides here. And right down there is the rock slide. I also did find something too that may or may not be related to this as I was making my way down the embankment. I'll show you that in a little bit. It looks like it's man-made, but I don't know if it is part of this or not, or just a coincidence. But here we are in the other end here. Looking up top, I don't see any date stamps either. There's a pipe going overhead there too, similar to what we've seen on the other side. I do see some bracketing up there as well, like something was attached there at one time. But honestly, you know, I usually have a pretty good assumption or instincts about what used to be. And this one, I will say, never even crossed my mind that railroad tracks, let alone trolley cars, came through here. Certainly big enough, but the thought never crossed my mind. I always thought Toby Creek flowed through here, but nope. Toby Creek flowed through to the left, which is non-existent now. The tunnel portal opening has been removed for 309. That's why we hear all the traffic up there. It's a really busy road here. And as gorgeous as this is, it's sad to know, excuse me, in less than a year, it's not going to be here anymore. It's going to be a more modern day bridge. And the history behind it won't be lost and forgotten, but there won't be visual representation in person. That's why I'm making this video, to preserve what's here before it's gone. Now, being that this was changed from so long ago, I'm not surprised not seeing anything from the old trolley railroad days, because everything would have been picked up and removed in order for the water to get channeled through here. Maybe further up, you might find something, or maybe further down. But as far as I know, all the remnants are completely gone. That's why, like I said, if it wasn't for photographic evidence, it'd be hard to believe that came through here. But knowing what we do know now, are you as surprised as I was to learn that trolleys came through here, or did you have a hunch or a suspicion? Like I said, 9 times out of 10, I'm usually pretty good with piecing things together. But unless I had more details or clues, just on first impressions, that was the furthest thing from my mind. I just have to say it again, this is really fascinating history. And before I forget, special thanks to the viewer who did share the pictures with me, and for the source allowing me to share them publicly within my video. Without those pictures, it would have just been word of mouth. I completely forgot that I brought my laser measuring device. So since it's going to be gone soon, I just want to get some measurements just so we know approximately how big it is. So I do want to do the stone wall, the original part of the structure, because the concrete's obviously further out, that's a little bit newer. So let's power it on. It's going to measure from the bottom of the device. I'm going to place it against the wall. So let's see here. There's a laser. All right, 18 feet 3 inches. Now, keep in mind, it's not a flat surface. The contour of the stone is going to throw it off by a few inches. Now, in order for me to do the top to the bottom, well, I need to find a rock that's exposed above the water level, because I can't get this wet. And I need something close to the center. I think that might work over there. Now, we already know, we discussed that the rail bed would have been higher, but we can't measure something that's not here, so we're just going to go with what we have. We're going to go the rock right above the water to the center up there. Let me get back to where I need to be here. Okay, we're back. So, looks like if I go right about here, get the laser on, there it is. Should be close to the center. Now, before I do this, let me give you my guesstimate. I didn't guess the sides, but from the water level to the very top, I'm gonna say 20 to 24 feet. I'm gonna give myself a little buffer. I'm gonna say close to, I just got dripped on, closer to 24 feet. So let's find out. Well, I guess I'll come over and show you, because I don't think I was too bad of a guess there. All right, so right there, 24 feet, 12 inches. Give or take a few inches or a foot. I said 20 to 24. Now that one I hit accidentally, and number 3 is across, 18 feet, 3 inches. Now it has finally cooled off here in Pennsylvania. Humidity's dropped a good bit. It's in the 70s, so it's not hot, humid swimming weather. But thankfully, the water has not matched the air temperature. The water still feels really nice. So we're gonna make our way over here. I wanna show you the spillway. And, well, let me get over there first. I don't wanna slide out. Yeah, like I said, more and more night crawlers here. This place is loaded with them. Yeah, we're looking at pure bedrock now. And the stream narrows down into a funnel and shoots down that rock slide. And this is what caught my attention because the rail trail is just up there, right next to the roadway. There's a little tiny faint trail coming down here. I parked the bike up there, walked down, and I'm like, whoa. At first I thought it was a huge waterfall. It's not, it's just a really awesome feature that I don't know if it's 100% created by man or nature. Because as I was told, and I shared with you, the tracks came through here. The ground would be relatively close to the same level or depth that it is now, maybe a few feet different. Obviously it would have been like a rail bed here with ballast and ties and everything, but okay, so let's put that into factor. We'll raise it up maybe 5 feet of rail bed material. Obviously, it can't do a grade like this. So what I was told is that this wasn't here. There's still flat, level earth or ground going in that direction. Now, whether it came directly through here or off to the side, that I don't know. But when the rails were removed and the water was transferred, excuse me, over here, I'm wondering, did the water do all this? Or did the construction crew at the time, do this? Just things that do ponder my mind. But my intention though, later on, is to slide down. But I need to investigate the bottom because I don't know if there's any hazards down there. I have a feeling I'm gonna pick up a decent amount of speed. And I'm gonna record with multiple different cameras. And I don't want to get hurt doing so. So I'm gonna have to, I did bring my snorkel gear. I'm gonna have to investigate beneath the surface, make sure there's no broken glass or anything that could potentially harm me. Seriously, look at all the worms. Right there. Right there. Right there. There's even one underwater right there. I think he's trapped. Maybe I'll help him out. There you go. Put him on the rock here with his buddy. His buddy doesn't look like he's doing too well. Look, even right there. Holy crap, this is like a breeding ground of worms. Currently positioned partway down the rock slide here. You can also see over heavier rains, higher water levels, the water does come over here too. But I do have my gear ready. I got my action camera, my 360 camera, my 10-foot stick, and my snorkel and goggles, plus the camera I'm filming on with you guys. Before we do anything with the water, I want to give it a chance to clear up a little bit. It is a little bit cloudy and murky because I was obviously walking around in it, kicking up material, so that material is flowing down, slightly cloudy. We're gonna give that a few minutes. That's gonna give us time though to come up here because, as I mentioned, I did spot something man-made on the way here. So let me get up over this little obstacle and I'll show you what it is. All right, I'm currently standing in this wash area. I'm noticing a lot of random things. There's some broken cinder block, a sole of a shoe, some pieces of brick, glass, but it's right above this is what I found that has me intrigued. That right there, I'm pretty confident that's man-made. That's all flat stone, hand stacked, pretty even and uniform. And it's kind of near the tunnel area, but not super close. I'd say it's over 100 feet away. I did think though, right there was another section, but it's not. It looks too jagged and natural. But this does look 100% man-made. And from what I could tell, it was probably buried underneath earth. And this wash area has exposed it. Now I have seen these before, similar at least. Typically near reservoirs, there's usually a pipe encased in it. It also does resemble like a small bridge abutment. The only thing that's really kind of confusing me is the height of it up here. You know, that could have been the height of land back in the day. You know, maybe the earth was much higher, matching with this, like right across. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But I was told there was no bridge here for this trolley line. There is a concrete footer there. And you can see the land is pretty level up there, drops off to the water down here. So it has changed significantly over time. But regardless, I did find it. If you have any knowledge or thoughts, by all means share it. But it was worth noting since it's down here near where we're exploring today. All right, so just so you know, I have the microphone right here. I'm gonna leave it on the side, it can't get wet. I'm gonna get myself ready. I do have my action camera, so I will bring you underwater. I'm not gonna spend much time. I just wanna basically snorkel it briefly to make sure there's no dangers or obstacles that could potentially hurt me as we do slide down. So let's check it out. Well, as you saw, there's fish down there. Not big ones, but there's fish, quite a few of them. As far as I could see, there's nothing down here dangerous. The only problem I have is right here below the surface, there is a lip where it comes down flat and then comes up a few inches with the shape of the bedrock. So I can potentially slam into that pretty hard. I mean, I'm going feet first. I just have to make sure I could, you know, cushion the stop. It's going to be rather a sudden stop. I don't want to hit that with my bum. The other alternative is maybe to come down. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to come down over there. I don't want to slide off the ledges. So my only real alternative, my only real choice actually is to come right down the center. I shouldn't splash land right around here. But it's good to see that it's clean, healthy water, plenty of fish. I don't see any glass. Nothing sharp, nothing that's going to hurt me other than just the natural bedrock. So I'm going to just give this area one more sweep off camera, make sure I covered all my bases. And if everything goes according to plan, well, we're going to have you guys on this camera mounted on the tree facing uphill here. You guys are going to be down here kind of off to the side shooting at the slide. I'm going to have my 360 camera on my really long selfie pole, which is going to be invisible, and that's going to get us sliding down. So we're going to see multiple takes, multiple different angles, and as long as I don't get hurt, we'll do it more than once. Slight change of plan. First off, I did fall off camera. Stop recording to get back in the water, and once this bedrock here gets wet, it becomes like ice. I just went down hard. I'm not hurt, just a slight bruise right there, but that's just a mistake on my part. So you guys on my Pocket 3 are going to be up top for a top-down view. I couldn't get a wide enough shot off to the side. Action camera down there is on a rock just above the water, so if I do splash in, should get a great shot of that. And then I have my Osmo Action, sorry, it started recording, it threw me off guard. My Insta360 X5 360 camera. Now this pole does go out to 10 feet. I'm not gonna hold it that long, but it will be out far enough that it's gonna look like it's a drone following me down. You'll just see my hand holding it, minus the stick. This is either gonna go really good or really bad. There is the potential to get hurt. If I do slide off course and slam into a rock, I could get cut up, I could bruise or fracture a bone. But if everything goes right, it's gonna be one heck of a nature's water slide. So fingers crossed I don't get hurt, and that it turns out to be more fun than trouble of doing this. So hope you guys enjoy the footage and the multiple different angles. Alright, a little bit nervous, but we're gonna give it a go. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh, oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh. That hurt! My biggest fear, I slid into the rocks. That hurt. I think I might be about 2 inches shorter now. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh. Oh God. That wasn't good. Oh God, I am in pain. Oh. My lower back took the brunt of it. Why'd you let me do that? Let me get you guys, we'll sit down and talk for a minute. I'm one and done. I can't do that again. Oh God. That's definitely one of the dumber things I've done as an adult, and my biggest fear came true. I knew that was gonna happen, just not the severity of it. I rammed into that underwater little stone bedrock ledge hard. Just to put things into better perspective, I'm 235 pounds on a good day. This is over 20 feet in length. It's a pretty good angle. I was easily going over 10 miles an hour, and then I came to a sudden stop like that. Everything kind of compressed in my lower back. My lower back is sore and stiff right now. Thankfully, nothing's numb, but there's no way I could do it again. I would probably end up in the hospital if I do it again. Up until that point, those few seconds of me, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I was loving it, but I'm like, this is gonna be bad. I'm so glad I got it on camera though. The 360 camera, I watched it back, looks pretty epic. You guys got to see the view from the top, and the action camera got it down bottom. I'm glad I only did it once. I'm glad I got 3 different angles. I wouldn't advise doing that. If that underwater ledge wasn't there, I would do this all day. It was a nice, fast slide. But there's no other way around it. The only way you can avoid that underwater ledge is if you go farther to the left, and there's a few ledges that you drop off on the way down. I think you have more risk of getting hurt and or cut up from the edges of the stone. Now, I need a few minutes to rest. Gonna be popping some Advils later, maybe hitting the chiropractor. Why'd you let me do that? I didn't do it for you guys. I did it because I wanted to. I wanted to bring you along. I wanted to keep my word on it, and I did. And hopefully, you guys appreciate the effort of what I went through. What I'm gonna do is, once I do crawl out of here, which I'm probably gonna have to crawl out of here, we're gonna go topside of the bridge. Show you what that's like, and then I'm getting home, getting some rest. As promised, here's our view topside. This is Route 309, which we learned was expanded. And that tunnel where the water would have went through would have been probably somewhere over here. So Harris Hill Road is officially closed since November 2023. And as of filming, towards the end of August 2025, nothing has been done. But topside actually looks rougher than the bottom. It's too bad they can't salvage and fix what they already have. I'm sure they already attempted to do that. But at least we're documenting it before it's gone. A lot of patch jobs up here too on the road. Here's that cable, or that pipe that we saw from down below. We were right down there. There's those pipes there. I don't know if anything's going through them anymore, what they would have been used for other than maybe utilities. I know there's a similar pipe system like this in the Lehigh Gorge area along the LGSR, the Reading Northern Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway. There's a section where there's a pipe like that. Excuse me, it used to be an oil pipe that kids used to cross going across the river to get to school. And now it carries fiber optic cables. So this is pretty much what we're looking at before it's gone. Detour's been in place for nearly 2 years now. I'm in pain. I'm walking really slow. I'm trying to find like a happy point where it's not hurting. I'm gonna see how I do tonight with like some rest and some Advil. If need be, I'll go to the chiropractor, or worst case scenario, the hospital. I don't foresee that. Like I said, nothing's numb. I'm just in a lot of pain. Everything just kind of crunched all of a sudden, and it's still kind of fresh. I'll see what happens over the next few hours. Not one of my brightest ideas, but in theory, it sounded like a good idea. All I can say is that I'm glad we got to come here to document this old historic trolley tunnel, if you want to call it that. We learned the fate of it, and we learned what it used to look like back in the day. And, well, the rock slide spoke for itself. I have no other words other than I have a slow walk back to my vehicle. I gotta find a happy point. It just feels like I have to crack my back so bad, but I don't want to do anything that's gonna make it worse. So anyways, thank you for watching. Thanks for coming along. Even if you did laugh at my crash down there, that's what I'm here for, to provide some entertainment. I'd rather do it than see someone else get hurt. But now I know, don't do that again. Not a good idea. Now I'm walking out here like a feeble old geezer. Need my walking stick. All joking aside though, yeah, I am hurt. I am sore. It's painful. Even the climb up out of there was excruciating pain. each time I had to like put pressure on my foot to step up and lift my body weight, it hurt. So if anything changes, you know, if I get worse, I will update you guys via my community post on my channel. If not there, I'll try to there, but definitely on my Facebook page, which you can find linked down below. I'll give an update there, but this is one for the books, one I won't forget anytime soon. But thanks again, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.